Our first ever.
I hope you have our request ready.
Well,
we had a request. See. We had a request for one of the Rudy's Awards.
I do not. However, I can get it. So, real quick, I'm Eric from Beyond the RC Grid. Welcome back to Alphabet Soup Part 2. Paul, thank you for joining me.
Can we call it Part 2?
Part 2.
Like Hot Shots Part 2. Remember that movie from back in the day?
Yep. Well, let's get that out of the way. I'll pull this up and I'll roll back and I'll share the screen and we'll play these awards. We're going to try and do this more often. Thank God for editing. Can't tell. All right, the first one is with Tyler. Do you want to set it up?
Well, we had 2 awards on the last show. The first one was for Tyler for outstanding duties as a marshal. He was the gold standard of marshaling. I believe he ran across the track, leaped across the track, picked a car up that went outside of the track, sprang into action, getting the car back on the track.
Yep.
And Rick said that exemplified what a marshal should be out at TARCAR. So you can go ahead and roll that beautiful beam footage.
All right, let me share the screen here. Here we go. With no sound.
Tyler, we have an award for you today. Last week, you sprang into action when somebody drove the tubes in turn 1. You got them off the track, come back on the track, and they didn't leave to lose a leg. So, based on rule that's complaining about barefoot last week, you had your shoes on, double knotted.
Dress for success, Tyler.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Tyler, 2 questions for you. How long have you been racing?
Probably going on 5 years.
What was your first RC car you raced?
A C-Late model.
All right, congratulations.
Where are you going for breakfast?
Go.
Nowhere. Rudy's hot dog.
There you go.
Excellent work. Keep up the good work, marshaling. Thank you.
Tyler.
Oh, that's funny. So, Paul, the video you sent me a Messenger downloads really quick. So, FYI, you can do them through Messenger. I can download them and upload them just as easy, as long as I do it from the computer. So, who do we got next? We've got, this should be Bob, I believe.
Yes, should be Bob Trout, one of the cleanest racers out at TARCAR.
Yep.
Runs 3 different classes out there. So all around great racer, understands a little bit of the give and take and racing etiquette.
Yep, a good racer, and he's getting a Rudy's Award. These are just awards that we give out to people for, they're more or less participation awards for significant events that we feel stood out from the day. So you want me to roll it?
Go ahead. Yeah, let's get her going.
All right.
So me beginning to you. Trout, a few races ago, you obviously had the fastest horse on the track, but you're going to get around somebody that was playing dirty pool.
Go ahead. You're going to have to jump in there.
It's the scoundrel that took you out twice, moved you out of first place position so he could run a perfect day. We give you the Chili Dog Day Award.
Hold on, Paul. Do you have a rebuttal?
Wasn't there a different reason he was getting this award?
What's the additional reason? I'm giving you the real reason for getting this award. You are the one racer here that I don't know how many times has been screwed over in a B main and an A main. Rick and Eric wanted to make up a story about me apparently wrecking you.
Well, that did happen too.
I pulled a perfect race, and he literally let me sign his shirt with a Sharpie afterwards, so I don't think any of this race.
Okay, Paul.
And he went, after the race, he went to Rudy's Hot Dog, our great sponsor, and had a chili dog. I told him how to get there, and he said, that chili dog was great, man.
Now, Paul, you want to ask him anything?
How many years have you been racing RC cars?
Since I've been in my 20s, 40 years.
And have you ever been hit more than by one team up until this year?
No.
What was your first RC car
Was
that you raced?
the first one I raced was a 12-scale Pharma, and it was very plain chassis, and it was only meant for an advanced driver because it didn't have no adjustments that I knew how to do.
Perfect.
There you go.
Thanks a lot, Bob.
Yep.
Thanks, Bob.
Thanks, man. I wanted to put this on my car.
There we go. So, yeah, Bob's been a victim of some misfortunes, which I think we need to talk about the elephant in the room, and I'm not talking about myself. I think we need to talk about why we have a part due and how we're going to handle it going forward. So our audience knows we upset the alien in part 1. And like my father always said, the truth lies somewhere in the middle. It's never as bad as you think it is. It's never as good as you think it is. The truth is somewhere in the middle. And so Paul didn't want to really be a part of that. Rick didn't want to be a part of that. We were going to talk about driver etiquette and show some videos, and it seemed to touch a nerve. Some people like it, some people don't. I've never done that without using myself as an example because I have wrecked people. And part of what our show's all about is helping people, and we are not experts. We have said that from the beginning. It's just a thought process to get people to think about things. But I didn't have the voice. My throat's doing a lot better. I didn't have the voice to talk over Rick. I couldn't reel him in. So there was drama in the LBC. Excuse me. There was drama in the NKR Studio 74. It ended quickly. Not bad, but I think we all realized we weren't getting anywhere. We literally hit a wall. So we sort of needed to regroup. And Paul and I have discussed it about how to move forward. And Paul, do you want to add anything? I mean, I think people just need to know that if we show video, we're not singling anybody out. Yes, they're involved, but it's no different than if the announcer calls them out at the track. But the reason I feel it's important, because I had this problem in off-road. I would just get, I've said this story a dozen times, I would get just crushed in the mains because everybody in the back thinks they should be in the front. And it's, now you're getting into to the gray area of racing incident versus stupid driving. And there are racing incidents. Stuff's going to happen. I mean, I hit Tim Hammer a couple months ago and for the lead, and I pulled over and let him get back around me, and I think I lost 3 spots. I ended up in like 4th position. I was leading 2 heats this weekend, and I got taken out twice. The first time, I was like, whatever. I mean, it happens. The second time, I was like, no. You know, I was leading both heats. This is getting a little ridiculous. So it's just stuff we wanted to talk about. I feel like Paul's pointers can be a segment. Everybody, I made that without Paul's consent. So I don't want anybody to beat Paul up. But it's just part of the show and how we're going to try and do things. I mean, otherwise, what are we talking about? You know? So
we don't even have to call it Paul's pointers. It can be Beyond the RC Grid pointers, and you can present some.
Oh, I already made it. Paul's pointers. What are you talking about?
I know. I guess the only thing I have to add is, as you said, if you can't look to yourself and look for ways to improve, then you really shouldn't do it. So, as you'll see in the Paul's Pointer segment, we're going to talk about Paul and an incident that happened with Paul. And we'll show some examples of some other drivers that have had some good incidents and some not so good incidents. And I'll just leave it with the fact that I was at the track yesterday practicing, and one of our competitors showed up that was in the A main with me in the Traxxas / Modifieds. And he said, man, I'm really rethinking that A main, that incident that I had with you. I might have got into you a little bit. And I said, I understand that. I said, you don't have to replay it in your head. You can watch the video. And he said, well, what do you mean? There's a video? And I said, yeah, Tim Hammer videos all of our races. He puts them on YouTube. I said, so you can go back and actually learn a little bit from watching yourself race around the track. You can pick up on maybe a line that works good for you, maybe, an area you need to work on. And I told him about that, and then he immediately pulled it up on his phone and he started watching the race. And he said, oh, yeah, Bob was really, Bob was in first and he was getting away from us. And I just felt like I needed to make a move. And I said, it was only 4 laps in. It's a 30-lap main. There's plenty of time to race, but it is what it is. It's done and over with. But, he said, yeah, there's nothing worse than racing good all day long to get a good starting spot in the main to get wiped out. And I said, I know exactly how you feel when you say that. So we'll show some examples of ourselves and we'll show examples of others. The reason we're doing this, just so everybody knows, it has been brought to my attention from other racers that don't race the box stock class and some racers that do race the box stock class that are a little more experienced, that we have had a large increase in people running the ready-to-run box stock class of the low-C sprint or the Traxxas / Modified at the track. We're up to 20 low-C sprints, anywhere from 14 to 16 / Modified, usually at a race. So we're trying to stress a little bit of etiquette. Now, there's no written in stone etiquette. I have learned my racing etiquette through, as we would call them, the gatekeepers. People that have been racing for quite some time, many years. And you pick up a couple things, whether you're racing indoors at Black Swamp or outdoors at Tarkar. One thing is a standard. There's a group called the A-Scale Racers, and they run the Black Swamp Raceway in BG. Dave Willey, Marvin, Joe Tuttle, Tim Hammer, Dave Brock, all those guys run indoors. They've been racing for quite a long time. So one of the things that they'll do if you watch, if they're racing you and it's a, very tight neck and neck race, and let's say somebody kind of just runs into the rear bumper of the car in front of them and spins that guy out. The person that ran into the person for that position will actually slow down on the track and wait for the car that they've wiped out to get back around them, and then they continue on racing. So you'll see some of that. And then the other issue that we've been noticing a lot in the box stock class, and you'll hear Casey on the videos, he'll try to do his best to tell some of the people that are maybe more toward the back of the field, hey, I just want to let you know, Eric's in that white PBR sprint car, that white and blue sprint car behind you. He's the leader. you're in 7th place. You are not racing for position. So try to give him a little bit of room so that he can get around you and continue on racing, because the last thing you want as the leader is to have a great race and then get stuck behind a guy that literally wants to block you every corner. And then the next thing you know, the 2nd place guy catches up to you and passes you, or, so that's what we're kind of trying to stress. These are things that we've picked up in the 2 years that we've been racing, 2.5 years. So we're just trying to help everybody out, because eventually some of us will move up in class. We'll go to some of the purpose-built car classes, and then they don't generally tolerate bad drivers in those classes.
If you watch them, I don't think anybody at Tarkar, most people at Tarkar, especially, let's say, the mod sprints, the short course mods, the late models, nobody's going to run over a car for a win. If they do, they're going to let them back by. But having said all that, what I want to touch on what you said, there's so many moving parts when you're learning how to race. There's so much to process at that speed. It just takes you laps. Some people are better at it. Paul, you were good at it from the beginning. That's kind of like when I started fly fishing. I was 13. My grandpa and dad are like, "Oh my God, like, you're a natural." It's the only thing I've ever been good at, but some people pick it up faster than others. As you make laps, you'll settle into your position. I've talked about it before, where my mind was scrambled eggs because I was so juiced up on not anxiousness, but maybe anxiousness, nerves, excitement. In Holy Toledo, when you are actually making some laps, you want to race people. And I'm going to say this even though Rick's not here. Rick made a comment a long time ago about, when I get around you guys, Robin's racing, I want to race you. If you're a lap or two down, that's not a good practice. So close the gap by making laps, going out and trying not to get marshaled. I got this. They gave me this speech in off-road. Look, moron. This is, I won't say his name, but you know who I'm talking about. Look, moron. How long does it take you to get marshaled? I don't know, a couple seconds, sometimes 10 seconds. It depends what's going on. They might not be able to get across the track. They might not be able to set you down because there's cars coming. So you literally lost more than a lap just by getting marshaled once. So you're so much better off to go slow and make laps. And that should be your goal. The rest of us will navigate around you. And that just takes time. Just make laps. Don't get marshaled. Make that your first goal. Hey, I didn't get marshaled. Hey, I'm 3 laps down. I didn't get marshaled. And then you go out in your next heat and you're only 2 laps down. And you're like, hey, I'm closing the gap. And then let's say maybe a week or 2 goes by, you come back to the next race, and maybe you start off 2 laps down from the leaders. Maybe you're rocking out 23 laps instead of 25 like the leaders in your first heat. And then maybe your second heat, you're only a lap down and you can feel the pressure closing in. You're getting there. But yeah, don't get racy. Just calm down. We'll get around you guys. And I've done it all. Anything you guys or anyone else has done, I've done, unfortunately. So I've even blown a battery up recently. Somebody says, "That's your first time?" Yeah, it's my first time. So I'd like to use more video. I like video. I did it a lot in wrestling with my son. It's a great tool. I've tried to call some people. I didn't get any answers back yesterday. I sort of wanted to put some feelers out there. I would appreciate feedback. If you watch the show, comment on it. Like if it's unnecessary and you feel like we shouldn't talk about it, tell me. We'll change the show. So we want to do that and just go over some things. And it's just like when you place the car on the track, where to place the car, when to. I mean, we have a lot to talk about. I mean, I watched cars, Paul, this weekend that couldn't line up on the starting grid. It made it hard on one of my heats where, thank goodness, another driver knew what was going on and allowed me to get into my position because someone had taken it away. And that's not like a one-time incident. That's a lot. Like we're racing toy cars, they say. The joke is we're racing toy cars, but like we are vesting time and money into it. We're not winning anything other than memories. And that's why we do this show. We want to create some memories and have fun while we do it. But keep coming back, even if you suck. I did. Keep coming back. It gets better. Take everything we say with a grain of salt, and we'll just talk about situations. It's not personal. So,
and I will add one thing. Both Eric and I are very approachable. If you have a problem with your car, bring it over. We'll take a look at it for you. If your car's doing something and we can help you make your car drive a little better, come over and talk to us. I mean, that's what it's all about. There were plenty of people that helped me when I first started, and I had no idea what I was doing.
Yep. I'll even tell you what oil I run in my diff. I'll tell you what oil I got in my diff. I'll tell you what oil I run in my shocks. I'll show you where I run my springs. I mean, it's racing. That's what's great about it. There's a lot once you close that gap with the mechanical side of stuff and setup and stuff, then there's the driving. So, I don't know, man. It's fun. So what do you want to hit on first, Paul? Anything?
We're gonna go right for Paul's jugular.
Oh,
we're going for it right off the bat. Round 3. Do you want to bring up round 3?
What minute?
5 minutes and 30 seconds. And I'll have you kind of pause it. We'll watch it. We'll watch the incident first. And then what we'll do is we'll watch it up to a point and pause it. And then we'll kind of give a little bit of feedback. Like, okay, at this point here, this is what should have been done.
Okay.
So this would be third round of qualifying low-C sprint. I started toward the back. I want to say maybe
you
5th or 6th. The incident's going to occur in turn number 3, which is your lower right-hand corner of the screen. That's where the wreck will take place.
Okay. I see a car sideways right here.
Oh, yeah. All right. So it may have already, so back it up just a tiny bit. Then maybe it's just before that.
Okay. So
you'll see us coming into the corner.
Yep. So this is the start of the heat?
Yeah, it's the incident takes place. We're not even 2 laps in.
Okay. All right.
So we haven't even gone 2 laps. We're coming around to finish our second lap.
All right. Here we go.
And we are off. Caution on 3, JR. Caution. Some acrobatics. Caution on 3, caution on 3, caution on 3. Still there. Caution 3, still there. Caution 3. And clear. Oh, man. Tim broke again.
All right.
All right. So if you go back to the video, we'll break it down a little bit.
Okay. Let me roll back.
This was a multiple compound incident wreck. So.
All right. Let me go back to. I'll share it without the sound so we can talk.
There you go. All right. So there's lap 1. and we're just starting lap 2. And right there, I get hit from the back. And when I got hit from the back, it caused both of our cars to flip. And both of our cars either landed on their roof or landed on their side. So Corey Johnston does a hell of a job marshaling. He has to get 2 cars set back upright. So he goes to my car first, and he'll flip it over and get it on its tires. The only problem was I was facing backwards on the track instead of facing the flow of traffic. So then once I was set down, you'll see him right here. He's going to reset the cars. Jumps over a car, resets my car.
Yeah.
I'm backwards, gets the other person's car reset. Now I have to turn around because my car's going the wrong way. I start to turn around and decide against it, realizing I am not going to make the turn around with cars coming. And unfortunately, I collected Tim Hammer in the accident. I apologized to Tim, and we watched the video so he could kind of see what happened, because he was like, man, what did you spin out? You were already spun out in the,
So
second lap of the race. So
let me interrupt you. See your car right now? I noticed this the first time I watched it. He set you down facing that way. So that was twice. He was trying to be fast.
Yes.
So I see where you're going to go with this. I'll let you speak.
Yeah, it was an unfortunate incident, and I accept the blame, or I accept the consequences, which was I tried to turn the car around. I stopped, but before I could get the car fully stopped, Tim was already full speed going into the corner. So that caused Tim and I to get hit again, which caused, I think, a couple of Tim's ball cups to come off the front end. So his race was basically over at that point because he didn't know how much was broken on the car or whatnot. So there you go. We're showing that Eric and I, can make mistakes also. We're trying to, let everyone learn from the videos that we're showing. So in the future, maybe a little bit of give and take. No real reason.
So fast. I mean, you're juiced up racing. The car gets set down. I mean, you're trying to make everybody's trying to make the decisions so fast that
and it just comes down a little bit to it wasn't even the second lap of the race, and the car behind me literally just ran right into the back of me. So those cars are not designed to really hit other cars. They're open wheel cars, and usually if you hit another car, one of you or both of you is going for a ride. So that's why you have to drive those cars. Definitely they take a little more finesse than a Slash modified, which has the majority of the tires covered, the wheels covered up. So, you may be able to run into the side of someone, accidentally bump into them, and neither one of you have an issue. But with that car there, they're very finicky. If you go, let me see here. Hang on.
Hold on. I got a thought.
Okay.
So I just rewatched you get hit, and it reminded me of when I hit Cody. I got in a wreck. Was it last year already? I think it was.
I believe so.
Yeah. So last year I got in a wreck with Cody, and I pouted about it. I mean, I didn't say anything to him, but I was just like, I got wrecked again, yada, yada, yada. This wreck looks identical, and I'll tell you what happened here. I was the inside car when Cody and I got together. And when we were racing down the straightaway, I was so focused on racing next to the car, I absolutely blew by my mark, which is what that car just did. And it's just a mistake. Because, are you going to make the turn? I mean, he did not turn. So what are you supposed to do? Just let him run you off the track? I don't know what the right answer is, but that's what I did, because after I watched the video evidence of my wreck, Cody, I thought Cody wrecked me. I wrecked Cody. I watched the video and I was like, oh, that was my fault. So it's humbling and it makes you a better person at the track. I'll tell you that, meaning I still get mad, but I still, for the most part, want to hold judgment till I see what happened. Because it is no matter what you think you saw while you were racing, you watch the video and you're like, oh, that's not quite how it happened. So
the same qualifying round, if you go to 2 minutes and 49 seconds, it's another low C box stock heat. And there was a hell of a battle going on between Bob Trout and I believe Dennis G. And you might have to go a little before the 2 minute 49 because there's probably a good 3 to 4 lap lead up to the actual wreck. So there's some really good racing.
I'll start at 227.
Okay, yeah, try that and we'll see. You'll see that it's going to occur. The wreck will occur in turn 3.
Over here, and this is them up here in the front stretch coming around right now to the back stretch out of 2.
So yeah, if you play the actual audio, you'll hear Casey saying, oh, Bob's trying to find a way around Dennis G. And you'll actually hear him if you back it up and play the audio for everybody. You'll even hear him say, oh, he's going to try to do it the hard way, which means he's going to try to pass him on the high side instead of the low side.
Yeah, it's the audio's on, so hopefully they can hear it. You can't hear it? Yeah, the audio's on. Here we go. So this is them right here?
Yeah.
Well, let me back it up a little bit because he's already around them.
That's what I'm saying. You back it up a couple laps and they had a heck of a battle going. Bob kept trying low. He tried high. He tried low again. He was really working, to try to get around Dennis.
Okay, here we go. They're going down the front stretch right now over the start finish line. Got in the marbles.
You can stop it right there. So there's a prime example of a little bit of give and take. So Bob tried the high side. He tried the low side. He tried the high side again. Tried the low side, pretty much had a really clean pass going on the other car, who came out of turn 2 very wide and, as you said, kind of up in the marble. Bob was to his inside, basically alongside of him, when the other car that was running a higher line, basically came right down into him and wrecked him. So stuff like that is a little bit of, hey, I see the guy's to my inside. He's pretty much right next to me. I'm going to let off the throttle a little bit and either try to cross him over in the corner or maybe set him up for another lap or two after that to make a pass instead of basically taking both of us out. So that's where Casey says, you can't win it on the first lap. And hey, guys, you need to work together. A little bit of give and take goes a long way on the track.
It's time for movie quote. Okay. That dog won't hunt. Name that movie.
In the comments, we want to see if our viewers are actually watching. So name that movie in the comments.
Yep.
So there's an example of, like, some good, honest racing. no one ran into the rear end of anybody. They came together coming out of a corner. And how to prevent that from happening in the future would be, hey, the guy kind of I've done it. Hey, the guy ran a better line than me coming out of the corner. He's clearly to the point where he's alongside of me. I'll go ahead and let off, maybe take a little bit of a different entry into the corner. And I've actually crossed people over going down underneath them in the corner. So it's something you can do. It's just something to look into. It's just, like I said, we're just trying to help people out. So we can maybe get the box stock class running a little cleaner and not have as many wrecks, because we're all out there together. We're trying to have a fun day. So that's why we wanted to show a couple of these videos.
Yeah, it is really fun when there's a complete clean heat or main. I have to look on my phone. So Brian, I can't think of his last name. What's his name? Yeah, so Brian, myself, and there was a third car in one of my heats. I got to look it up. We ran clean and tight for the front three positions. And we all walked off the stand high-fiving each other. It was fun. I think I took second or third. I didn't win it. But that stuff's a lot of fun. So let's say it. It's just a lot more fun when you race it out and you're racing for that position in the last 3 laps. It's just so much more fun. So yeah, it's open wheel. So I've talked to some guys that have been racing for a long time about this. And so for a little backstory, I sold my car out of frustration originally. I mean, you know that. I missed it so much because it's so much fun. I bought another one, and here I am. I got frustrated again. We're in a tough spot because it is a group of new people with a mixed bag of medium to experienced guys. I mean, Bob's been racing 40 years, and he seemed to take it really well. I mean, he got a couple times Sunday. He got knocked out a few times, and we gave him an award for getting knocked out in previous races. He's had a lot of bad luck, and the guy's been racing for 40 years, so he knows how to race. Now, if we can get everyone else, including myself, not to knock him off the track, it should create some fun racing. But Bob's another one. If you have questions, ask Bob. Bob knows a lot. Tim Hammer knows a lot. If you don't know the guys at all, walk up, introduce yourself, and say, hey, I'm so-and-so. I'm having issues with this. Paul and Eric didn't know. Maybe you'll know.
Absolutely. I've told someone, they've came up to me and I've said, hey, I don't know a whole lot about that car, but Tim Hammer does, and he's very helpful. I've watched him help numerous racers.
Yeah.
Including our very own Nightcrawler, Eric Kroll, who may or may not have forgot to put the body clips on his street stock before the A main. So
no, that was the B main.
Okay, so I had to scramble around. I went to put your car down. I went to pick the car up, and I'm like, something doesn't feel right here. The whole body was moving, and I looked, and there was only one body clip on it.
So
and I'm like, who's got body clips? And Tim Hammer was like, right here. So he came over and grabbed a couple. And we put them on your car to get you out on the track. So that's what it's all about. You help people out, try to help them last minute fixes to get the car on the track. Yeah. I want to beat you on the track. I don't want to beat you because a part broke on your car and,
yeah,
you need a part. Come find me and I'll loan you a part to use.
So my street stock, the reason I didn't have the body clips on is I was not going to race the sprint.
Oh, so, okay. I got your car ready to go for you, and then you went out and ran the sprint. And you're like, wait a minute. Oh, now I got to go race another one. So I was getting your car ready for you.
Yep. So the backstory of that is I was racing my street stock. The servo horn fell off. Now, for everybody that says, why was your servo horn loose? It was loose for, I'll take 100% of the blame. I didn't check it. It's an X-ray. So you can't get your hex in there. I mean, you have to get a little hex, not your tool, screwdriver hex. So that's on me. It came off. The problem is to put it back in correctly into center. I'm sure there's a different way. I don't like the little Allen key. I took the front end of the car off to do it.
You were doing it the fun way.
I did it.
There was a lot of fun words being used in the trailer that aren't appropriate for the show.
Oui, je m'appelle Nightcrawler. I was speaking French, baby. So I was working on that, feverishly working on that, because putting it back together, you need like 4 hands. So that's why it's not an excuse, but that is why my body clips weren't on, because you're like, oh, you're up in the first heat. I had to leave the trailer. So, and I wasn't going to compete. I loved the speed I found in the street stock and the handling. I just really blew it coming out of 2 several times, and that's a driver error because you really got to come out of 2 with the way it was set up just right. So I was afraid to tweak it any more than I had, because going into mains, I've always failed making changes going into mains. I've always gone the wrong way. So I send it with what I got. But so yeah, we ran a clean heat. My other 2 heats in the Losi Sprint were not clean. And everybody else is probably just as frustrated. I mean, I don't know how far I'm 5 minutes away from the track. I don't know if everybody knows that. I'm right up McCord Road. I don't have an hour drive from wherever. I mean, some guys come from Adrian, some guys come from
Bellevue.
I don't even know. Yeah, I was trying to remember where they were from. You know, so like when I hit one of those guys, like I hit Nick Vollmer, Nick Lethal. And I apologize. I think we just so here's where I wish Rick was here, because if I had my stuff in order like you do, I'd have it marked. We came together in the race, and that's a racing incident. And then he apologized. He goes, "It was my fault." So I don't think it was anybody's fault. I think that was a true racing incident. So they don't want to come from, how far is Bellevue? An hour? Farther?
Oh, yeah, it's probably about an hour, maybe a little more, right? You know, it's on the turnpike. So we're a little spoiled having a track. I remember when we were talking to the gentleman, remember that works for Custom Works? Yeah, and I thought he said he had like a 2.5 hour drive to get to his track. And it's like, man, that's 5 hours in a car to go to the track and then get home. That'd be like us going to Dirt Devil. That's a long drive.
You're talking about Velocity.
Oh, Velocity. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's a long drive. That's a long time to spend in the car, like when we went to Dirt Devil for that race. We left at, I want to say 6 a.m. and we didn't get back home till, I think it was midnight, 12:30 in the morning the next day. So,
yeah. Velocity just dropped a new Sprint chassis, by the way. I think they're bigger out west. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But yeah, so where I was going with that is everybody wants to I always called it making laps. So they're not always going to be perfect, but what we'll do when Rick gets back from the Drivers' Championship or whatever he called it in Hawaii, we'll sit down and talk about where to meet in the middle on talking about this stuff. We beat Rick up, and Rick knows the game with the podcast, and I'll talk about it openly because it's Paul's Paul. Paul has his mannerisms. Rick has his mannerisms. I try to bring it together, and I like that. I think that's a really good chemistry setup. Rick may have been stressed thinking about the flight to Hawaii. I don't know what was going on, but we'll sit down and talk.
I think he has performance anxiety because if I remember right, he said this was a Stevie Wonder high performance driving school reunion.
I missed that part.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what he said. He got invited to it. So he said it was invite only. And he went to that driving school, I believe it was last year or the year before.
Hold on. I don't think
it helped him out much, but
I got an idea.
Okay.
I have an idea. He might be sleeping. I don't know what the time zone in the flight does to you.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I know California is 3 hours behind. I don't know how far Hawaii is.
I just sent him an invitation, and I said, hop on right now and say hi. Let's see.
There you go.
Let's see if we can get RGB
from the B?
From Hawaii.
He probably won't call because he paid a lot of money to go to that Stevie Wonder high performance driving school, and he did not want any of those secrets to be shared with us. So, when you're paying that kind of money to go to a school, you don't want John Q. Public getting that knowledge for free.
Yeah. So
we'll see if he hops on.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll talk with Rick when we get back, and I hate to air dirty laundry out on the air, but a majority, we're not a podcast that's documenting something that's a clean cut procedure on how we do things with a layout and everything. We'll just air our dirty laundry out. And like I said, from our very first podcast, if you didn't see our first podcast, it was a disaster and I loved it. I don't care who didn't like it. That is the epitome of my mentality, right or wrong. I've never been afraid to try something, and anybody that talks crap about it has never tried anything because you don't know all the answers. I just like to apply it and try it. I don't have to sit back for 2 weeks and do homework. I'm the dumb one that the Army or the Marines send into enemy territory first. I'll do it. Let's go.
You're the crash test dummy.
That's right.
So we got a couple more here to show, just to kind of rein in some issues. Let's go to round 1, and you let me know when you get that up.
Right here. Okay.
Should be low-C sprints, 4 minutes, and try it at 4 minutes, like right at around 4 minutes, and we'll see what happens. This is a kind of like a calamity. This is definitely what you do not want to do at the track.
Here we go.
Race number 2, let's start picking them up. Race number 2, make sure you guys are ready. Corey J.R. David, closest battle on the track. Caution at the front stretch. Still there, it's outside, still there, outside, and clear. Oh, caution one, caution one, caution one.
Oh. Holy cow, I'm going to stop it right there. I had not seen that.
So this is a tip for the racers out there, particularly running the low-C sprints. The low-C sprints are not the greatest when you input 100% throttle from a dead stop. As you well know, it usually results in the car doing a 180 on. So the car got loose. It was battling with another guy, kind of bouncing off of him. The car got loose and it hit the wall up in the opening of one. And a marshal ran out and got the car flipped back over. He was pointed the right direction, but he hit the throttle, 100% throttle, and the car did a 180. And now it's driving backwards on the track. So, first tip is feather the throttle a little bit. Don't give it 100% throttle, and the car should take off and continue on. And the second thing is, if you do hit it and the car does a 180, stay exactly where you are. Don't drive backwards against the direction of traffic to cause a wreck. It ended up being a bigger wreck. So
it sounded loud. So was it catastrophic?
Yeah, it was pretty catastrophic. So that's just a little tip, of something that you definitely do not want to do if you can avoid.
Let me watch it again here. Okay, it's up here. He hits the wall. Yeah, that was a bad one. So, yeah.
And you'll hear, if you played that video through, you'll hear Casey talking on the microphone saying, "Hey, we need some racing etiquette. You cannot be driving the wrong way on the track and turning up in front of the leaders, wiping them out." So that's just a little, tip that some people may not know. Everybody gets excited, but yeah, you want to slowly ease back into the throttle on those low-C sprints, because the second you give it 100% throttle, it's like the rear end comes around.
My Slash will do it. I mean, I think it's all of them. I would say I have no room to talk because I do it. You're in the zone, you're making laps, you get spun out, or you lose it out of 2 on your own, like I have, and it all of a sudden your brain, all those wires are going like that, and you're just saying, I gotta get going. I guess it's the same thing as getting marshaled. I shouldn't be an idiot on the throttle. I have to practice easing into it, because even if I take off slow, that's better than spinning out again.
One thing for the super new people too, and I've encountered this a couple times at the track, and it's usually someone that's extremely new. When you crash your car and it's upside down or it's on its side, make sure you take your hand completely out of the throttle. You'll see people that the car crashes and they're like mashing the throttle thinking it's going to magically flip their car over, because most marshals, if they're smart, will not even bother to try to pick your car up when you're on the throttle. None of us want to lose a finger in the deal.
I think, yeah, you got to respect the marshal's fingers, and I think that's an off-road thing, because you have 4-wheel drive, so you can throttle the car, turn the wheels, and flip it sometimes, but to get lucky in 2-wheel drive is very rare. Yeah. So no, those are all good points. I mean, that's like a driver's meeting comment right there. Just a reminder. So, no, that's a good point.
So, what round you got? Round 1 up right now, don't you?
Yeah.
Go to 2742, and this is just kind of about a little bit of give and take. So right around 2742 should be a slash modified heat.
As long as Tim can keep it straight for 2 more laps.
27, 35, 36.
Final lap.
Well, it might not be the right round. Hang on.
3 and 4.
Are you at 27 minutes, 42 seconds?
Yeah.
Round 1?
Yeah.
Maybe it's round 2 that.
Okay, hold on. Let's go to round 2.
For position here, that guy right in front of you is for position for everybody on the track. Paul, you are now catching up.
7:30, right?
That battle. It's Tony, Jim, Donald, Corey, Richard, and Paul. Tony with a 4-second lead.
Oh, it's definitely not this. We'll scratch that one because you said you were on round 1, and that definitely was not the right.
2. Let's try 3. Let's try 3. What's going on here? So round 3. Might as well do this. $27.42.
Try 27 forward.
Get him, Eric.
Donald and Eric bring us around, breaking away from Dennis, Richard, Paul, and Greg. Oh, looks like I missed what happened there. Might have been Eric getting the back of.
I missed it.
Yeah, I think it's just a really bad attempt at a pass with the slash modified.
Paul and Greg. Oh, looks like I missed what happened there. Might have been.
There was a little bit of room there, but there was not enough room to pass, is what I saw. Is that what you
correct.
saw?
Yes, that's what I wanted to kind of show. It seemed like the guy that was behind the guy in front just kind of threw it down in the corner and thought, "Oh, this'll stick," but it was not a opportune passing moment. So I've only got one. Well, we got one more here. It's going to be round number. Round number 2. I lied. I'm going to show you 2 more in round number 2, and I'm going to show you 1 more in the main. So round number 2, and it's going to be 11 minutes. And this is a prime example of an issue that we have at Tarkar with some of the box stock classes where a car that's kind of in the back has the leader behind them. And the proper race etiquette, as you'll listen to Casey say, is try to give that leader some room so he can get around you. So we'll let the audio play.
10:50.
Well, hopefully they can hear the. Hopefully they can hear the audio.
Yeah. Whose white car was that? Okay.
It should have been Bob's car, I believe, but if you watch the video, you'll hear Casey say, "Hey, the leader's in the white car. He's coming up on you guys. Try to give him a little bit of room so he can get through there cleanly." So it's just something to think about. If you go to 21-23, this is kind of a totally preventable incident that we had with the slash modifieds, where I just want to talk about this because we see this a lot at the track.
It's at 2108. Is that good?
You'll see what happens.
Dennis G in that orange and black. Dennis G with some good race etiquette, letting the leaders through. Thank you, Dennis G. Caution at the start, caution, one upside down at the start, caution, 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 and
Oh, 5 cars.
oh, Jesus, almost, holy moly.
I got to watch that again.
The leader down the back stretch behind Dennis G in that orange and black. Dennis G with some good race etiquette, letting the leaders through. Thank you, Dennis G. Caution at the start, caution, one upside down at the start, caution, 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 and
Okay, real quick, what I saw was Casey yelling caution, a car slowed up, a car behind him didn't, and that was the start of calamity.
Okay, wait. What I wanted to show everybody is if you rewind it a little more before that, you'll see a dark colored car coming out of 3 and 4, and he ends up in the infield.
Yep.
And then he drives across the infield.
And that's a four-way. Oh, caution at the front stretch and clear. The leader down the back stretch behind Dennis G in that orange and black. Dennis G with some good race etiquette, letting the leaders through. Thank you, Dennis G.
Right there, he pulled out.
No, you'll see it. There's a guy that drives through the infield. There he is. He's in the infield.
He flipped his own car. I didn't pick.
Then he turns hard right as he's driving through the infield and just guns it to try to hop the yellow tube, which causes his car to flip in the air and he lands on his roof in turn 1. The marshal goes out and resets his car for him. And when he goes to take back off, there's just a giant calamity with the leaders. So what I'm trying to stress to some of the newer drivers is we have 4 guys in the center of the track called marshals. So if you by chance happen to accidentally get into the infield, if you get your car close to one of those marshals, they will pick it up and put it back on the track for you. So you do not have to try to get your own car out of the infield because, as you can see, hopping those two is can be somewhat dangerous, and there's nothing that is worse than running a heat and getting taken out by someone that basically does a jump and flips their car, and then when they're reset right in front of all the leaders, and probably 4 or 5 people were affected by that.
I will add to that. When he's over here in the infield, there's no problem. Nobody's going to be upset if you drive over here to the entrance, as long as you don't pull out in front of the leaders. You know, some cars you're already behind. So if you got to wait, you got to wait. But if you're not going to get marshaled back on the track, just drive over here to the opening. That's acceptable. So yeah, that's a good point. That did not work out.
And then the last one, I just wanted to show it because I thought it was very good, round 3. It involved
hold that thought. Let me ask you a question for our audience.
Okay.
So were you just watching races and you saw this and thought,
yeah.
Well, there's okay.
Yes, I like to watch the cars that I race. I will sit down and watch Tim Hammer's videos after the race because I can look at some of the races and find things that I need to improve on. Maybe it's a line, maybe it's a little more etiquette, okay, hey, this guy kind of got up close to you. All right, I'm going to back off because when 2 cars are going into the corner together, as you said, most of the time there's only room for one car. And if we're both side by side going into the corner, we've got two options. We either both stay on the throttle and we both wreck each other, or one of us lets off the throttle and blends in behind the car, and then you go a couple laps maybe, or maybe it's the next corner and you set the person up and try to make a pass. So it's just like we said, Casey says all the time, guys, a little give and take here goes a long way. Why do you want to ruin your race, because you were so stubborn that you were mad that a guy got around you and made a good pass on you, and you're like, I'm not going to let him get that pass. I'll just wreck both of them.
So we're not going to get into practice as a track. I don't think Casey or Steve want to do this. We're not going to park cars. I know, like when Michael told us about that up at the crater, there's a lot of serious racers up there, and I have no problem with getting parked. So if I'm running my Traxxas modified in the short course mod class, which I don't think I'm going to do the rest of the year, that was a stupid build. I wasted money on that car. I got to recalibrate my brain on what I'm going to do. But if I'm out there slowing those guys up and wrecking those guys, I would hope somebody parks me. I would park myself. I've watched other people park themselves. Watch the fast guys. This is a tip for the more the newer group of guys. At least every Sunday you'll see a fast guy pull his car because it's not right. And he doesn't want to destroy his car. He doesn't want to destroy other cars. He pulls his car, he goes in the trailer and gets it right, or goes in the canopy wherever they pit. And, sometimes, my street stock was that way for a while, and then I got a lot of people that helped me on that street stock. And then, I made the bonehead decision on, I got to be careful I say this. I can't say it. I made the bonehead decision on something and had to regroup something I was doing with the car. So I'll leave it at that. So yeah, I guess I'll touch base on this real quick. So the argument, and I'm just going to say it, the three of us had an argument and it was ugly, and I edited the crap out of that first part to clean it up. I made lemonade out of lemons, and it was a terrible argument. And the gist of the argument was racing incidents versus unnecessary incidents, right? So where's the balance? So we'll let Rick come in on the backside of this and defend his position, because I don't want to talk a lot about it without him here, but I need to talk about it to get this show out there. So Rick doesn't want to talk about stuff like this. He feels like we're putting people on the spot. I get that. My issue is, at what point, who suffers more? The new guy's wrecking people. We're trying to help him so he doesn't wreck people. The experienced guys are getting their days ruined, which we can tolerate. We all get wrecked. How much, though? Like Bob Trott, man, he's got a smile on his face. I got wrecked the second time in Losi Sprints, and I stayed on the driver's stand. For everybody, for new people especially, I would walk off the stand before. It took me a year. It took me a year of practice to stay on the stand. Right? I mean,
there was definitely a racing incident at another track.
So, out of respect to people driving, I don't make a scene and I stay on the stand. And, you can see the smoke rolling off my head or whatever. Who cares? It goes away quick. But, I don't know how everybody else deals with being mad. I go to my trailer, I stew, whatever. and then it's over with. I'm working on the next heat or whatever. But so our discussion between the three of us was, I couldn't reel Rick in. I had the fish on the hook. I couldn't reel it in. I was just saying, Rick, there's a point where my day's getting ruined, and that's not fair to me. So at what point do we not talk about it? And it's not an Eric thing. I'm speaking for everybody who's went. I've watched people pack their stuff up and leave that are getting wrapped. So here's another pointer for new people, that out of respect to the $2,000 cars that are out there during practice, be cognitive of who's on the track. So I've pulled my Traxxas when I was running Traxxas. I've pulled it off during practice when, let's say, a bunch of guys throw their mod sprints down or their late models. I like controlled practices. I really wish we would do controlled practices. The problem is Casey can only do so much with entries and getting the computer ready and yada yada.
I like that didn't they do that for the Tri-State series, if I remember right? I'm pretty sure for the Tri-State series, they said, at the time, the Slash Modified was like the box stock entry class. So they said, anybody that's running like the novice class or the box stock class, you're going to have 10 minutes on the track.
Yeah.
So that's when all those people went out and they said, okay, mod sprints, you guys got 10 minutes on the track. No one's going to go out with that. At least maybe once or twice, have maybe something for the guys that are running the novice class, or they're running, something like that where they can all get out on the track. They could feel a little more comfortable and not worry about, like you said, breaking someone's $2,000 custom works or GFR.
To give you an idea, it's a dump truck versus a Porsche 911. Literally. I mean, those cars are so big and heavy, and the sprints are moving so fast and they're so light. The wings, everything is just so light on those cars. I used to pull my stuff. I mean, even my street stock, if my street stock is a mess during practice, I pull it. Which you should. That's what we're doing. You shouldn't just keep racing it if it sucks. So, but I just wanted to throw that out there. That's a thought. Just be aware that those cars are heavy and who you're on the track with, and because you don't want to break a $2,000 car. So, where are you at, Paul, on the list?
We're just going to go to the main. I'll just show a couple more and we're done. I just wanted to show a couple things that happened in the main.
All right.
19 minutes and 31 seconds. The Losi Sprint email.
Right model selected.
19:31.
All right, here's 19:20.
Ryan, Tim, crawl now, moving up into the 3. Oh, Tim getting back to crawl. Oh, that's going to collect to everybody.
I don't really even remember that.
Crowd out with a pop jammer, like he is done. Milo just leave that one sitting. He ain't going to get the bump at this point. Caution on the back stretch. Caution on the back. Caution on the back. Slow down on the back. Caution. Clear. Oh my God, that is Chad Brown from the 6 to the 1. Jim Woolen from the 5 to the 2. Chad Brown.
How far are we going?
I think Chad Brown has a little bit of bad luck here in a minute. That race was very exciting to watch, as someone that had 2 dogs in the fight. My brother was in it. You were in it. And at one point, my brother was in the transfer spot. And I'm like, oh man, who do I root for here? Do I root for my brother or do I root for Eric? You know,
you listen, you root for air conditioning.
yes, I root for air conditioning.
So
That is 100% true. So no, I just kind of wanted to show that was just a little bit of, man, it was just, we had a wreck over in 4 and then the cars came around and it was a wreck in 2, so it was just a little bit of calamity. There was a lot of lead changes that race.
We're going to run over the mains real quick. And since we're talking about this race, this is why the show was named Alphabet Soup. So I got wrecked in the heats. I parked the car during one of them. I ended up in the C main. I took second in the C main. Then I got to this B main. And let me pull this up here. Main, C main, street stock, box stock, B main. So I'll share this with everybody. I started 8th in the B main. And so what Paul is talking about is this right here. I won the B main. And if there was ever a reason to just, I didn't even really, that B main was so crazy. I didn't remember getting spun out. Tim and I getting together. I didn't even remember that. That B main was so crazy. I had raced the C main. I raced my B main for street stock. I come back. I raced the B main in the box stock sprint. And my hands were like this. I mean, my hands were just shaking because that intensity builds up and you go through a B main like that where there's so much going on. I just kept going forward and then everything fell into my lap. Chad had problems. I ended up winning, but I want to show everybody this. Look at this chart. I mean,
that's insane.
Yeah, study the chart. Everybody needs to study this chart. So let's do me. Let's go backwards. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 8th. I get up to 7th. I get up to 6th. I get to 5th. I get to 4th. I hold it 2 laps. I get to 3rd. And boom, I'm in 7th. 10 laps in, I'm back to 7th. So essentially from the start of the race to 10 laps in, I've only gained a position. Typically in sprint, you're not winning that race. But look at this shit show. I'm going to call it what it is. Look at this shit show that happened in front of me. And I go from 7th, where are we at, to 5th, to 4th, to 3rd. And then right in here, or where's Chad? Chad's green.
I felt bad for Chad. Didn't he lead the whole, he led it for no, he didn't.
He led it from lap 13 to lap 21.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I meant.
He had it in the bag. He had it in the bag. Chad had it in the bag. And I think in my mind, listening to Casey, I thought, well, the best shot I got is to try and get the bump. I was just racing to try and get a bump. And the next thing you know, I'm in the lead. It was crazy. And fortunes went my way in the A main as well. And I was able to get to 3rd because of misfortunes. I drove well. The guys in front of me, Joe Tuttle, and who was on the podium with me? Crusher.
Crusher, Donnie. Good to see the Crusher back out to the track.
Yep.
He took a little hiatus.
Crusher got hammered in a heat. I mean, he got beat up in a heat as well. So Crusher and Joe Tuttle drives a really good wheel. It was an exciting day. I had a ton of fun once I got into the mains. It was a lot of. So if you want, real quick, we'll burn these mains up. You want to do that?
Yeah, go ahead. You got the screen up. We'll burn them up real quick, and I'll just show you. There's only, I think, one more that I was just going to show real quick.
Let's do yours first.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. It's the mains. It's 1 hour, 1 minute. This was not in the box stock class, this particular what not to do at the track.
Okay.
This is the street stock A.
Ooh. Ladies and gentlemen, I was not in the street stock.
A clean, smooth racing surface, and it's a lot of work that goes.
Should occur in turn.
I seen it. Let me
You'll see
back that up. Jerome made a move on a car.
Jerome had been patiently trying to make a pass on a.
Who is this? I can't tell.
I think it's Ben. I think Ben started on the pole for the A main.
Okay.
So Jerome had been racing him pretty, heavily. And they had been kind of, he'd been trying low, he'd been trying high, and then he makes the pass on him coming out of full, coming down the front stretch. He's definitely underneath him, makes the pass, and then just a little bit of give and take would have probably been a good spot for him to maybe let off the throttle, and instead just ran right into Jerome's rear bumper and spun him out.
I'll play it one more time. So follow these guys around.
A clean, smooth racing surface, and it's a lot of work that goes unnoticed, to be honest. Oh, Jerome got around Ben, but then looked like he got spun and went back to the 4. It's going to be 21 laps to go still.
Okay. So I know what you're going to say. I know what you're going to say.
I was just bringing it up. It was just.
I guess I should. I guess
something that I viewed.
I'll say it. I think Ben should have let Jerome back by, but I've never been in defense of Ben. I've not been in that situation in an A main where I've had to let somebody go by. Typically, you let them back by, but I don't know. I don't know what you do. I don't want to win a race that way. I don't think anybody wants to win a race that way, but it's whatever.
It was just an observation. Like I said, we've talked about racing etiquette.
He slowed up. I think he hesitated. A lot of
the general, the guys that are experienced, like the 1A scale racers, you just slow up, you let that guy get back around you. It was early enough in the main that you could have still made, I think Jerome went from first to fourth. So it's not like, he couldn't have probably made that up. So just, using a little better judgment going into the corner after you get past to not literally dump someone right after they've passed you.
Yeah.
That was it. I just wanted to show that was one of the more experienced classes, that you saw something like that happen in. So not to say we're, only talking about the box stock. It applies to all the classes that run out at Tar Cars. Yeah. So
all right.
Pay attention to those big classes.
Yes.
Watch a couple of them. And you'll hear Casey, Jerome and Tyler were racing, and Tyler got into Jerome. And then, Tyler's going to hold up there. That's some nice etiquette from Tyler. He's going to hold up and let Jerome get back around him, and then they just continue on racing. So, you can race people how you want to race people. I guess, sometimes people have good long-term memories, and sometimes they don't.
Wait a minute. Are you channeling you sound like Jimmy Spencer.
I'm channeling my inner Mr. Excitement, Jimmy Spencer.
Well, all I'll add to that is they park cars. I have seen them park cars on the off-road side is where I'm going with that. If something like that happens and you keep going, typically they're not going to let you stay out there. At least some of them aren't, but whatever. Let's burn these up.
Yep, let's burn the mains up. Alphabets.
Let's burn the mains up.
It starts with you in the C.
This is me in the C main box. Let's mark that. Box stock sprint C main. I start 5th.
I started in that main too. A guy got around me though. He started driving like Ryan Newman. Once he got around me, he was all over.
Did I look like a state trooper weaving back and forth on the highway to slow traffic down?
Oh, yes, that's what it looked like to me. But hey, it is what it is. It was a good race by you. You got around, and there you went. You bumped up.
I can honestly say that I don't believe was the intention, but it's hard to focus when there's someone on your back bumper. I think it was I think that had more to do with it, me trying to control myself. But when you watch the video, I am not holding my line.
I think it was a culmination to the fact that you knew that not only do you got to watch the guy behind you, we had a couple incidents during the heats where someone would spin someone out, and I ended up running into you because you got spun out and you were coming out of 2 and I had nowhere to go. So then I went from the lead to like 5th place because I had to get the ball cups popped back on and everything else. So you're trying to watch everybody in front of you, plus watch that pesky guy behind you. I got a little more to lose, with no air conditioning if you kick me out of the trailer.
Well, let me touch on you just triggered a memory from part 1 of the show where Rick, you and I were Rick didn't want to believe this. And when Rick comes back with his lay and he's all tanned and all that, we can have an adult conversation. Paul knows that if he was banging down my back door, I would have given him the spot.
Let's mark that and change. I don't think you want to call it banging down your back door.
No, get off my back door. My bumper.
Yes, there you go.
That early in the race, I would not have held you up because couple things. In the past, I've let you go by and either you run away or I catch back up. There's no reason to hold you up. So that's just we have worked that way before, but I felt like I was a little faster than you in this race. But once I got around you, it was hard for me to hold my line, which I saw the track and my line great all day, but enough of that. Let's get going on this. So yeah, Tim Hammer, box stock sprint C main, Tim Hammer and myself, aka Nightcrawler, gets the bump. Paul, you were 3rd. Ken, Joe, Wheels, John, and James. Look at that. That's a pretty clean race. I mean, that's me getting around you. That's you getting around. Well, that's me getting around a couple guys, first couple laps. So that's the C main. Spec Traxxas Modified B main. Greg Dietrich wins it. He started 3rd. Corey Johnston took 2nd. He started 1st. Joe came up a spot to 3rd. Donald came up a couple spots. John finished where he started. Richard had some problems. Let's see. What color is Richard? Was this where he got helped off the track?
Oh, maybe it was.
He only made 3 laps.
I think there was definitely a big wreck, possibly.
Okay.
I think he did the smart thing and knew in his mind, I guess, he thought there's no way I'm going to make a bump spot. So he just pulled his car off.
Richard said, you guys do your thing. I said, we love you. All right.
Well,
where we at?
one of you does.
Yeah. Street stock B main. This is myself. So Tyler wins it. He starts on the pole. Craig takes second. James and Eric. There's a funny thing here. I believe this is the race. Let me look. It is. Okay, so if you notice, on the last lap, I was third. But if you notice, I took fourth, and James took third. So Tyler, Craig, James, Eric, and Wheels, that's your top 5 for box stock. Street stock B main. I'm sorry, street stock B main. So we thought the race was over, both of us, James and I both, because the way we crossed and we were like, whatever. And so we're all just screwing off. And I think James rolled his car across or something. And we were just laughing about it, high-fiving. But that was a fun race. I don't know how close I got to Craig. I don't think I was close enough to really push him at all. So Craig raced pretty good. Tyler raced really good. So they get the bumps. Race 4, box stock sprint B main. This is, we already went over this. This is Eric and Jim, your brother, bumped up. Tim was third. It was a wreck fest. Race 5, 10 scale late model A main. Huge surprise. Nick Staller, I got to get that right. I think he says his name is Staler. Is that correct?
I believe that's how I've.
Okay, Staler. I always say Staller when I read it. My apologies. Nick Staler wins it. Nick Lethal second. Frank third. Tim fourth. Craig fifth. Scott and Dave, your top 7. Little bit of back and forth here, and then it straightened out. Everybody settled in their spots. Let's see what Nick ran on fast lap. 6.4. That's boogieing. 6.4 right there. So yeah, that's boogieing. Race 6, Spec Traxxas Modified A main. You're in this. Bob wins it. No surprise. His car is hauling arse. Tony second, Eric third, Jim fourth, Paul your fifth, Dennis, Corey, and Greg. Little bit of mix up there. Anything eventful in that for you?
Well,
Yes.
the little bit of a mix up, yeah.
Yeah, that was the bump.
Started second. Had a little help in one of the corners by a fellow racer who I ran into out practicing at the track, and he said, boy, I just keep replaying this race with you in my head. And, I said, well, you don't have to replay it in your head. You could watch the video. And he said, there's videos of our races? And I said, yeah, records them. So I told him how to get to it. And he brought it up on his phone and started watching it. He says, oh, yeah, I definitely kind of got into you. So it's all good. It is what it is. I told him I was hoping he was going to bring that car back down because I said I got something for him this week. So I don't know. Maybe he'll run it if we can get the race in, but it sounds like it's going to be wet.
At the end of this, remind me, we'll do an updated weather report. Race 7, short course modified A main. Chris Keller, Nick, Frank, Nick Lethal, Tyler, Jerome, JR, and James. A little bit of back and forth here in the beginning. And Chris, what lap is that? Takes the lead in lap 13 and holds on to it. So, looked like a good race. Race 8, box stock sprint A main. Yours truly is in that. I start 7th. I end up 3rd. Joe Tuttle wins it, no surprise. Donnie starts 5th, gets up to 2nd. I start 7th, get up to 3rd. So Donnie and I missed some. Look at this. This is just everybody. Yeah, everybody wanting to get up front.
Second place. Is it when I see second place went all the way to the.
Yeah. Well, that's Corey though. So Corey had some issues.
Oh yeah, he had some issues.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there was definitely a whole lot of movers and shakers on lap 2 or 3 in that.
Yeah. So I got lucky. I podiumed a crazy day, aka alphabet soup. So congrats to Joe and Crusher. Race 9 mod sprint A main. Steve Brummett wins it. Tony, Chris, Bob, Nick, and James. Couple back and forths, but looks like there was a position change here for Bob at the end. Bump up to 4th. I don't remember that race. I must not have watched it. Street Stock A main. Ben a step. We watched a little video on that. Wins it. Scott Snyder takes 2nd. Tyler with the bump. So Tyler came out of the B main and took 3rd. Congrats, Tyler. Good racing. Tim Hammer 4th. Dennis 5th. Jerome 6th. And Craig 7th. Little bit going on here. Yeah, that looked like a good race. I watched some of that. Novice A main. Let's check out the novice. Now, we definitely watched this. Trisha, the Wiz's wife, was running Scott Snyder 40 grits street stock, and she raced it awesome. She had a little spin out incident in the dust getting marshaled, but Dominic got around her. Trisha took 2nd. Justin Johnson took 3rd. So congrats to the podium people. John, Jim, and Nolan. What's Nolan driving?
Traxxas Dirt Lake.
Okay. That was your final spots in the novice. Traxxas late model A main. J.R. Stevens, Paul Rulin, and Ben Estep on the podium. John Stevens 4th. What happened here? You got around you right off the bat?
Oh, yeah, yep. And we had quite a battle going on after that. I got back around him toward the end of the race. So
Gotcha.
it was a good race. Congrats to Jay.
Yep. Short course late model A main, race 13. Last one. Jerome gets the win. Jerry Steele 2nd, Tyler 3rd, and Richard Biggins 4th. So that's it. Congrats to those guys. I burned them up. People say they want to watch that, so they want to talk about that. So there it is. You know, if I get my stuff together for people that want to see the podium pictures, it's on Facebook on the Tarkar page and the Tarkar Oval Club page. But maybe one of these days I'll piecemeal that together and we'll do it right. I think the visual will be a lot better. So, I mean, all I'd have to do is...
Don't forget our weather report.
Oh, let's do that. That's more important.
Updated weather report for Sunday. Looking suspect, as the kids say these days.
Yeah. Faux show. So let me share the screen. Right now it's 86 degrees, and it is Friday, dinner time as we record this. This weekend, rain returns, 1 to 2 inches of rainfall possible. Sunday trending wetter. So there's your weather report. 80%, Paul. So I'm not even going to get the car ready.
Hey,
70%.
There could be a miraculous parting of the clouds. Don't forget, we live in Toledo.
Yeah,
some storms go right around us. They go north or south. They just split Toledo.
Yep. So there's your report. I'll edit this up. Hopefully we didn't make any enemies. We're approachable. Come see us. It's all in fun. I have a blast out there. Even when you have a crappy day, for me, it turned out good. So you never know how it's going to turn out. Crusher got hammered in a couple heats. I mean, he had one heat where he just got the hell beat out of him. And he ends up 2nd on the podium in the A main.
And I would say we offer an open invitation to anyone that would like to come on the show if they feel like they would like to have a conversation where we could watch the video together and they want to explain their side of the story. We're 100% open to doing that. Like I said, it was more or less just let's try to help some of the newer racers and some of the maybe not as experienced racers with a little bit of some racers etiquette that we've picked at the
and tech. There's a couple standing offers. We'll tear something down for you if you want us to. There's a lot of videos on YouTube already, but if you want to tear something down and ask us questions, if you want us to tear it down, or if there's someone else that's recording something that you're tearing down, record it, send it to me. Let's talk about it. I mean, it's hard doing this show. It's hard racing. If you record yourself tearing something down and there's something in your teardown you want to talk and point out to everybody in the audience, let's talk about it. We'll get you on the show. We'll talk about it. And yeah, it's a good idea. So.
And the end question for all the racers out there that we want to see in the comments: are you buying the low C late model?
Yeah.
Inquiring minds want to know who
comment below
is buying the low C late model. I heard one of them was at Tarkar. It is not owned by Eric, and it is not owned by me. I heard it made an appearance at Tarkar Wednesday, and I heard it handled very well right out of the box. And a couple of experienced guys took it for some laps and said it is very nice right out of the box for right around $400. Throw a transponder in it, pick up a battery or two, and you're ready.
I think that low C, I think this is going to put a hurting on Traxxas, on Dirt Oval.
Did you see Traxxas just discontinued the BL2S?
Yes. Yeah, they're not discontinuing the car, the Slash or anything. They're just going to a different motor.
Correct. Which, then it's a whole nother can of worms. Well, I bought this Slash modified now, and it has a different motor in it than the BL2S.
Yep.
So,
yeah. Comment down below. You buying the new late model from Low C? I'm going to tell you that I'm not buying it, but it'll be in my trailer. So don't.
Or if you already bought it, give us some feedback. Do you like?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Wait a minute. You better pan that camera around. Are you sure there's not a Low C late model already in the studio? Just don't tell Ryan.
Yeah, we don't talk about that. Don't tell her I got a show.
I'm pretty sure she knows you have.
Her son races. She knows what's up. So yeah, that's where we're at. Pray for everybody. Pray for RGB for a safe flight back, and hopefully he's rejuvenated with a tan, with some new material, and yeah, we'll just keep evolving. We'll keep pushing forward with the show and go from there. So part 2's in the books. Paul, I appreciate it. Had a long week of on-call, and you made 2 shows on your on-call week.
That's a record.
Yeah.
Maybe I can get one of those Rudy's awards. I'm just kidding.
I'll buy you a hot dog. All right. I appreciate it, Paul.
All right. We'll catch you later.
All right. See ya.